Okay, so we have our hero section done. So now we can start to work on this part here. Keep track of your snippets. We have a paragraph, we have an image, and under that we have a features section. So let's go right under this section here. And we'll say this is going to be the snippets section. And let's give it an HTML5 section tag, and we'll give it an ID of snippets. Okay, and then the container for this is going to be very similar to what we did above. We're going to do a max width of 6XL, which is 72 rem. Move everything to the middle. We're going to move the text to the middle, so text center. And margin on the y-axis, we're going to do 20, so top and bottom, and then padding x, we'll do 10. All right, now in here we'll do our H3. Now this H3 is actually going to have all the same classes as the one up here. So we can just grab that and put that in there. And let's say this is going to be keep track of your snippets. So save that. And if you want to change things around, like if this is too much of a gap for you, of course you could change the margin or whatever it is that you want to change. And then after the H3, we'll have a paragraph, and let's do max width 3XL and MX dash auto. Let's do a margin bottom of 24 and a text dash XL and leading dash 9 and text dash center. And then the color is going to be grayish blue, so text dash grayish blue. Okay, so that's our paragraph, and I'm just going to copy the paragraph and paste that in. Okay, so we'll go ahead and save that. Now, I think that we have a good opportunity here to use some directives, because we have some classes that are repetitive. So these three, on the container here in the sections, the max width 6XL, MX auto, and text center, you'll see repeats here as well, and it repeats in other sections too that we're going to be doing in the future. So I think that's a good candidate for to create a custom class. And then for our H3s, they're pretty much all going to have all of these classes. So I think we should use the layer base directive for that. And we learned about that, was it last? No, it was before the mini projects. But basically we just go into our input CSS, and let's start off with the section container. So I'm just going to create a class of section container. You could just extend a current class if you wanted to, but I'm just going to create a new class here. And then I want to use the apply directive. So we'll say apply, and then we want, let's go to the first one here. We just want these three, because the other stuff like the margin and padding, that's going to change a little bit. So we're going to replace these three here with section dash container. And it's not going to work just yet because we have to come back over here and apply those classes. And now you'll see that it looks the same. So now we can replace on the second snippets here, this container, we can replace these three with section container as well. All right, now as for the H3, let's grab all the classes here. So I'm going to just copy those or cut those and then just get rid of all the classes together. Now, right now it's going to look like this. However, what we can do is we can use the layer directive, and the headings are in the base part of this. So we want to say layer base, and then for the H3, we want to then apply those classes, save that, and now all we have to do is in H3, and we'll have these default styles. So when people complain that Tailwind has way too many classes and the HTML file is always cluttered, you can fix that. You can do stuff like this. So now this H3 down here, we no longer need to include all these classes because it's included by default. And now, and whenever we add more section or section containers, we can just use that class. And for H3s, we can use that. And there's other stuff in this project that you could do this with as well. And I'll leave it to you to kind of check that out. In fact, the button container, later on at the bottom, we have this almost the same exact thing here. So all these classes, we could actually replace this. Let's do button dash container. And right now it's going to mess up, but if we go over here and let's create, say, button dash container, and then we want to apply. So apply all these classes and save. Now that works. Okay, so you can really clean up your files this way. So in the next video, we'll continue on with our website.